Hi, everyone. Welcome to your quick session on networking. For those that don't know me, I'm Isabel. I'm the founder of ILIKENETWORKIng, which is a career platform for the creative industries. We have mentored over 1,000 people since 2020, and we offer events, workshops, and a weekly newsletter with where to network, which jobs are happening, who you should follow. We interview people in the industry. We share open calls. We basically bring all the chaos of the creative industries in one place. And we also host events and workshops. But before all that, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about me. So I could tell you that I have been featured in the New York Times, or that we've won some awards like the DNAD Awards. But this is what I'm going to start with. Number one, I'm from Brazil, but I have many passports. My family is very mixed. I think they just went to carnival and went crazy. I am severely allergic to cats. One of the biggest pet peeves I have in life is that they haven't yet developed a fully functioning vaccine because a lot of people have this, but in my case, it's really bad. So if you really don't like me, just bring a cat. And finally, my claim to fame is that I was second to last in the Brazilian Junior Championship, all of Brazil. And this is how close I've ever been to the Olympics. So I say all of that because at the end of the day, we connect with people, not job roles. If you're here on the Eric app, I'm assuming you're young or you're starting out in your career, and maybe you're thinking networking is not for you, or that you don't know what you have to offer or how to connect with people. But let me say something. We always connect with people, right? You all already know how to network. If you've ever made a new friend, if you've ever been to a new place and you had to strike a conversation with someone, you know how to network. So I love this definition, which says that a network is an informally interconnected group of people, such as friends. Notice that they put friends first before anything else, before professional colleagues. That's because you need the same skills to network as you need to have a new friend. You need curiosity and ways of connecting with that person. So, how do we go connecting with someone? We can connect with someone based on their location because we're all in the same place. A really good example of this is making friends with someone in the line to the bar and the line to the bathroom, because you're both passionate about the same thing, because you're in the same hobbies. Very basic examples are book clubs, run clubs. Those are all spaces where you can network, and you'll be doing a lot of the networking skills we'll be talking about here. Your career, of course, is a big point of connection. Your provenance, in my case, I could be, talking to people that have Polish family or Swiss family or Brazilian family. So I could connect with people that come from different places. And of course, purpose, right? So those are all different things that you can consider when you're thinking about starting your network. So where do you go to network, right? So you can go to associations and communities. So you think about the Association of Women in the Arts, the um, you know, association of event producers. There are so many different associations and communities, especially in the UK. There's like the Costume Society. There's so many things. Then social media, of course, it's a huge thing. Like you can still message people on social media. I've met so many people that became friends and collaborators on LinkedIn, on Instagram, all of those things, and workshops in person or online. You can always connect either with other attendees or with whoever is offering the workshop. Mentoring is, of course, a great way to expand your network. You'll be talking to people that tend to be senior or at least peers. It's a really nice way to connect with others, especially around careers. And then conferences and events. And these, I've been talking more about in-person events. So you can think about the big things like MedFest, like South by Southwest, or particular events for your industry or the industry you would like to be in. So, how do you start networking? although I already said that you all already know how to network, these are some things that you could start doing. So, the number one thing is to take full advantage of your online presence because when we meet someone in person, we don't have a lot of information of who they are, right? All we have is maybe a name badge. Whereas online, you are crafting your persona so that you are seen in the way you want to be seen because we judge people really fast. And by judging, I mean we categorize people in we put them in boxes. That's just what we do to decide what the person is. Are they tall? Are they blonde? Are they brunette? So we do the same with like this person does marketing, this person does this. It's very hard for us to immediately grasp a full complex human being in the first glance. But if you can use your website, your social media to showcase how you want to be positioned and how you want to be known in your industry, you're already way ahead of so many people because you're controlling some of that narrative. Um, and there are lots of examples that people do this, even senior people. I actually am recording this today, early March 2026, and I just posted a video about this. So if you want to go check it out. So, what is your professional profile? So, I think most people um, struggle with figuring out what is their main profile, right? What's the one message they should be sharing? Because we are all complex. We have all these different things that we do that we like, that we pursue. But think of yourself as a pizza. So if you are a creative, you love pizza, but you are one of your slices is your work as a writer. The other slice is your work as an editor. The other one is the job you do as an event manager. And the other one is how you're obsessed with, I don't know, a particular thing. Each slice of your pizza has a slightly different flavor. Now, if you were talking to a vegan, you wouldn't immediately start the conversation with, like, why don't you try my pepperoni pizza? Right? You would invite them to try the one that's just marinara sauce, maybe, and get them to the conversation. So, when I'm talking about your profile, is selecting elements of your professional life or your personality that you want to shine a light first so that people start conversations with you. You can always add more seasoning and more things and offer more slices of your pizza. But to start, you need to really make it simple. Okay? So think about your profile in this way. Think about which slice of pizza you should continue. And then we're going to talk very quickly about how do you answer the dreaded, what do you do? You will end up meeting people that will ask you this question. And what I have to say about this is, of course, there are different questions you can ask. And I don't even think that that's what's going to make or break a networking strategy. But people don't buy what you do, they buy what you do for them. So, to help get started, I would recommend that you try out a few of these formulas so that you can start thinking about how you introduce yourself, especially in an online format, because you have more control over it. And try to phrase what you do in some of these formulas. You don't have to stick with them, but they are a really good exercise for you to start framing what is it that you do or that you want to be doing, but also sharing the value that you're bringing to someone else. Okay. The other part of this is editing your story. Is the same advice that I would give to someone when you're answering the question, like, tell me about yourself in an interview. You don't want someone telling their whole life story. If I want a recipe for a potato, I just want to get the potato recipe. I don't want to know about the history of potatoes, right? So edit your story so you're telling people what they need to know about you. It's very similar to the pizza advice. It's lots of food metaphors in this conversation. So you did all that, and now you're going to start messaging people. You're going to DM some people outright. So, how do you do that? Usually, you will have these five elements in a very short and concise way. So, number one is the intro, which you say your name and who you are. Then you add some context, like I'm reaching out because I saw this, I met you at this event, or I saw you speak somewhere, I read this article. Then you add the connection of like, this resonates with me because of this, or whatever it has to be, and you add any element of your experience that they need to know so that you can make the hook. And then the ask, which for anyone who uses social media, it's very close to what we would say is the call to action. Because it's very frustrating when you read a whole message from someone and you don't know what they want from you, right? Is it a call? Is it a conversation? Is it a chat? Is it an email? What is it that you're supposed to give? You have to make it very easy for people to help you, and giving you an answer is part of that. And then closing. If you're writing to someone, especially someone you don't know very well, always be extra polite. And I like to say close with kindness because we don't know what people are going through. And we live in a very globalized world. So we don't often know what people are going to assume from our tone or our words. So I try to keep it as polite as possible, as professional as possible, but also short and succinct. Those are the elements of a good message, especially an outreach message from someone you don't know that well. Now, asks don't need to be like, give me your kidney. Okay. This could be something like, I'm looking for connections in this place and I'm looking for leads, or I really think our missions are aligned. I'd love to schedule a call to discuss if we could collaborate on an event. Is anyone going to this event and can give me some tips? These are all types of asks that you can do online and in person, but obviously here we're talking a little bit more about online networking. Now, if you get no's, don't be disheartened. No is a feedback. The worst thing is to get ignored because you don't learn anything from it. If someone says no to you, they will usually tell you why, and then you can learn from it. Maybe you're reaching out to the wrong people. Maybe you are sending the wrong message. What is it that you can do? Because we can't control everyone else. All we can control is how we show up and how we present ourselves and the strategies that we take in the world, right? And this is really important. I think, especially when you're starting with networking, the most important thing to do is just to show up. If you're present, if you're creating connections with people, you'll start bonding with them. So, there was a mentor from my line of working. She moved to London, didn't know anyone. And she said she's a very she's an extrovert, but she on the first like 3 or 4 events that she attended for work, she didn't know anyone and she felt super like overwhelmed. So she didn't speak to anyone, but she showed up, which meant that after 3 or 4 events, she started recognizing some faces in the rooms. And then she went to speak to them and they started saying hi and she started building a network. So if you think you go to a networking event and all you've done was show up, great. That's half of the battle. If I think that's even more of the battle. You are doing more than a lot of people are doing, and you're giving yourself opportunities to connect with others. So when you are going to a place in person, all you need really is your story, your curiosity, and your ears. You don't need to have the perfect pitch. You don't have to ask perfect questions. You just need to be curious as if you were curious about meeting a new friend and wanting to know more about their lives. That's very similar to when you go networking because we learn a lot from other people's experiences. That's often when we have ideas of our own business, of our own stories about our whole trajectories. People say something that you didn't know, that you didn't even think of knowing. And those conversations can't all happen in mediated forced spaces. Sometimes you do need to be put in a space where you are seeing people that maybe you wouldn't choose to connect at once, right? So the Island Networking newsletter, we interview people from the industry at all walks of the industry, and we always ask them to give them a networking tip and also to tell people how you can connect with them. So it's a good way for you to see different strategies of networking, how everyone made it. A lot of people are super shy and they're still doing it. So definitely take a look at that. And one really big tip that I have before you attend any networking event, especially in person, is to one, if you're really shy, go as a group. It's a lot easier to be sort of connected with other people when there's 2 of you or 3 of you. More people will join, maybe other duos will join because it makes it easy for people to enter and exit a conversation. And if you can, I would always let people know that you're going because that creates a few things. One, it tells people that may not know that this event is happening, that it is happening. So you're actually adding value to your network. The other thing is that people who may be going on their own, you can reach out to them and you can go together, or you can at least agree to have a coffee at some point. And you can also get really good tips of like where to go, who to attend, what time do you arrive, what clothes do you wear, all those stuff. And it's a really nice way to connect the online with the in person. So I like to say that the online and the in real life networking should always be working together, because if you meet someone in person, all you have to do is ask questions, be interested, and then at the end ask something like, "It was so nice to meet you. Is there a way for us to stay connected after this?" And they will tell you like LinkedIn, email, courier, a pigeon, whatever. And then you can follow up on the next day from the comfort of your home, and you can craft a really thoughtful message. And then you can position yourself, practice your message, do your research, follow up again. And so it all connects one with the other. Like it doesn't, you cannot do one without the other. But I really recommend that if you're starting in your career, online networking is so helpful. It helps you to practice your message, practice how you show up, see who's out there, see how people are talking about themselves, and really get inspired by other people's initiatives. If none of this worked, just think about something you can offer instead and start from there. Maybe you can be the one who creates a group of freelancers in Packham who are going to meet once a month to discuss your business. Maybe you can be the one who's going to offer a charity to design a logo for them once. Like, what is it that you can do to offer that's going to bring more people to the conversation and put you in the light you want to be seen? That's often a really nice and organic way to network as well. And my final note is for you to be your creative self, to be memorable. You don't need to be boring. You can promote yourself in different ways. You can show up in cool clothes, show up in things that make you comfortable. So if you enjoyed this, obviously this is a very quick chat. We offered events in networking, of course, but also in business and freelancing. We have a job search strategy, lots of things. So we share opportunities and jobs almost weekly. I think weekly. Last week, as of the recording, we shared over 300 jobs and opportunities. So definitely get involved. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and our Substack is the best way. We have this one big resource called No Gatekeeping, and it collates tons of different resources, courses, free links, where to find support, CV advice, all of that good stuff. And I hope to see you there.